Hey everyone, Luke from Average Athlete here. Today we're looking at the last Muzz race for quite a while, say maybe a year or more. They're redoing the track in preparation for the Olympics in Queensland or Brisbane. So there's a pretty big number here. I should have double checked how many people in total. I think 60 signed up for it. This track isn't that big, so I did get given some advice before I started this race from the guy that actually came second, and he said, Luke, stay in the top third, maybe 10-15 places, and just stay there the whole race until near the finish. I should have followed that advice. I think it's because I wasn't feeling that great too. So I start... Here I'm not in too bad a position, but I start slipping back places in a couple laps. And then it was just really hard to start moving up, just because of how many people and everybody was spread over the entire track. And at one point, I actually get pushed off the track as well, going around one of these corners, which I'm sure you'll see. And the other thing is, I've never seen so many other people pushed off the track too. Like at least I've saw it about 4 times this race where people just got pushed off the sides of the tracks, either people not holding their lines or taking corners. I don't know, appropriately is probably the right way to say. You did have a lot of people just randomly swerve and stuff as well, so it didn't feel particularly safe, so it's probably one of the scariest rides I've done before, basically for that reason. But yeah, it's not normally like that. Normally everyone's pretty safe, pretty clean, pretty fun. So as you can see, the weather is fantastic. Always is in Brisbane, isn't it? I got a couple friends in this race as well. As I said, one came second, which did quite well. The other one actually didn't make it to the finish. Training-wise, my training's been a bit erratic, I guess, lately. I've been doing a bit of travel for work, so it hasn't been as consistent as I'd like it to be. Whoa, see, there's a swerve. Perfect example. I remember seeing that as well, when thinking I'm going to stay away from that rule. And as usual, these races aren't too long. I think it's about 40-ish minutes. There was a long speech at the start of the race because we got so many people that the organisers want it to be safe for the finish. So maybe I think this one's a little bit longer than usual for that reason. And about half, I reckon it was about half the pack finished compared to starting. So it was pretty quick. I'd have to double check that average pace. I think it was about 42 k's an hour, to be honest. Anyway, let's move along. I'll find some interesting clips. There's not going to be many, to be honest, this one, because I mainly stay in the pack. Try to overtake and doesn't get too far. Let's see what we can find there. So picking back up with about 9 k's. So about 1/3 through the race. So about here I decided to pretty much actually start pushing on a little bit and actually getting towards that front group. One thing that I've noticed while watching as well is I'm even doing what I always seem to do, is leaving quite a gap in front of me between me and that first person. I don't know if that's correct for my heart rate, but that's actually quite high. Must be because it's moving, it's not frozen. As I said, I felt a bit average too, so it's been to extremely high heart rate. Again, some odd behaviour, getting squeezed to the sides, and not a real consistent pace. Yeah, it's interesting watching this race back. Whoop, see that junior lost it a little bit on that corner. So yeah, and me trying to consciously move up still. Since we're not going too quickly. Say that as we're speeding up. Yeah. I did spend a couple laps on the inside, which was quite smooth, to be honest, as in you're pretty protected from wind and everything like that. So it was quite easy to keep that pace going. Couldn't really move up though. It's a bit sketchy there, I had to hit the brakes. Again, slow down. And so yeah, definitely should have taken that advice and stayed a bit closer to the front. A bit safer and a bit more consistent too. Anyway, let's move ahead. Picking it back up, so between now and beforehand, been pretty much trying to get up, been squeezed on corners and stuff like that. So I see a good opportunity here, a couple go up the, I was going to say go up the road, which they do. Could have had a bit more of a sharper sprint, and then that guy comes over and pretty much squeezes out. Now, I probably did have the little bit of an edge, but the guy next to me just there actually was coming over pretty quick, because I actually swerved around the corner a bit, which was hard to see on camera because it was on my far right a bit more. So I basically spend a lot of energy catching back onto the group. As you see, the group was actually going quite quick. Still my heart rate is quite high. You do get a lovely view of the track. And I haven't seen my heart rate that high for a very long time. So yeah, it would have been nice if I saved all this energy for, I don't know, 2 laps to go or something. 3 laps to go even, something like that. Especially since I don't have not a great sprint, it's quite small. Jeez, look at my heart rate. I can't remember the last time I seen it that high. I know I said that a minute ago, but it's 187. I don't know if that's accurate. I must have been working my ass off. I can just see the group in front of me. So I'll keep on keeping on, as I say. And I do eventually get back on. It's a bit of a grind. And yeah, I was spent after that. As I said, it would have been nice to save that energy for a couple laps to go. And go off the front or something. That would have been a bit nicer rather than coming back off the back. But these things happened. Probably being more cautious than anything of getting pushed off the track. I don't know, maybe I should be more aggressive, push back, but I don't want to see anybody on the ground as well, so I'm not sure how to go about with that. It's something I've probably never done in races. You touch elbows now and then, but you're not actively pushing each other. And back on. Great effort past Luke. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can see something interesting for the finish. So last lap to go. I didn't even hear or see the 3 or 2 laps ago. I've just been hanging on, basically. Heart rate's still high, still spent from getting back on. Yeah, so I'm pretty much at the back of the pack now of this group. Behind me there's not really anybody else, and I've already decided, well, I already know I don't have enough energy to get up there or try, so yeah. So I'd spent all my bickies. This guy on the left that we just overtaken just here. I saw him get pushed off the track earlier as well, and him and 2 other people, I think it were, had to climb back on. Otherwise, I think he's a pretty good sprinter as well normally. Cool. Well, I'm just going to leave it at that because there's not a lot else you can see from this far back from the finish line. You can see the group going off the front. And you're just cruising it in basically. Oops, yeah, a couple of other people pushed off the edge of the track. Anyway, everyone, hope you enjoyed. Yeah, do the usual, comment, like and subscribe, and we'll be making more soon, and hopefully next time we see this track it'll be nice and new and pretty, and extra corners and new clubhouse and all the rest. Cool. Thanks everyone.